You're listening to Southern Fried Sports with Travis Reier on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa. This is Southern Fried Sports with Bama Online senior analyst Travis Reier on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Make it through this year, I think I'm gonna put this bottle down. I guess as time goes on, I'll grow to miss it less than I will now. And I think I'm gonna tell her that I'm gonna go away for a while, till I can get this demon out.
It is 11 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. It is time once again for Southern Fried Sports on your home for University of Alabama Athletics, Tide 100.9 FM. Travis Reier, senior analyst for BamaOnline.com, with you each and every weekday morning from 11 a.m. until noon. The show, as always, brought to you by Peterbrook Chocolatier out there at 1530 McFarland Boulevard North in the Indian Hills section of Tuscaloosa. Busy week for the folks there at Peterbrook Chocolatier. You have Mother's Day, of course, coming up this Sunday, but also it is Teacher Appreciation Week. I believe today specifically is National Teacher Appreciation Day. So take the time, thank those teachers, work tirelessly, trying to help our young people become model citizens, educate them in the process. Take the time to do something nice for those folks today, and you can do that at Peterbrook Chocolatier. They have specific teacher appreciation, teacher gifts lined up for you out there at 1530 McFarland Boulevard North. Joined on the program by the executive producer of Southern Fried Sports, Jacob Harrison, and together we combine to form the 60-minute blue of sports talk radio. Jacob, do you have a former teacher that you have a special amount of appreciation for?
Yes, we had a AP English teacher that was mostly for the junior class in high school, and she's the reason that I got into writing and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, she was awesome. She had the reputation for being one of the meanest teachers on campus, but you know, me and her got along well because I could write.
Well, you know, that's like coaches with talented players, right? They seem to mesh a little bit better sometimes than otherwise. But no, it's awesome to hear the stories of impactful teachers. Coaches count too. And you played sports growing up and in high school, so I'm sure on that front you encountered some of those individuals. I had a couple at the really formative years that certainly I can't thank enough for their help, especially at the time in which they were in my life. I had a fifth grade teacher, Miss Robinette, at Hyde Park Elementary School on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida, who was just outstanding. Loved her to death, still do. And then I had a youth football coach by the name of R.M. Mickey, as he went by, Spillane. And not just Coach Mick, but the other coaches on that staff, Brooks, Coach Steve. I mean, I wasn't a good human being at that age. I was probably 11 or 12 years old. Could have gone either way at that point. And getting involved with those coaches, we not only won a lot of football games, man, I learned so much about the benefits of a structured and disciplined type environment. Not that Pops wouldn't get after me. Pops got after me plenty good. But didn't always have Pops right there. But I had those coaches, especially in football, that meant the world to me and still do. 205-342-9904 is the Peterbrook Chocolatier studio line. If you'd like to jump on board with us on a Tuesday, you are more than welcome to do so. It is a Tuesday, so we will talk with Brent Beard coming up in the very next segment. Brent, of course, of College Sports Today and First Coast News. Brent, a longtime voter for the Heisman Trophy. Going to have some fun with Brent coming up in a little bit, and you're welcome to join in on this conversation as well. I'm going to run these by Jacob Harrison, get his thoughts. You can put together your golf foursome from the celebrities at this year's Region Tradition Classic over there at Greystone Country Club in the Birmingham area, down 280 there at Greystone. Of course, the Region's Tradition, an annual stop on the PGA Tour Champions. And so tomorrow you're going to have the Celebrity Pro-Am, and I'm going to give you a choice from 3 of these celebrities to have in your foursome. Maybe I'll give you a bonus 4th. You can have a 5th. We'll let you play 5. A lot of So we're going to give you some options. We're here. No, the weather's a little tough. We're here. We had Jacob check the pulse of the program, and there was a heartbeat. There is a heartbeat. But we are with you. Now, celebrities that you can choose to fill out your golf foursome from the celebs at the Regions Tradition Pro-Am field this year. That's set to take place tomorrow. Nick Saban, Brian Harsin of Auburn, Bo Jackson, legendary Auburn football, baseball as well for Vincent Bo Jackson. Kirby Smart, head coach, football, University of Georgia. How about Nate Oates? Talk about a star on the rise in his industry. How about Gary Sheffield, former Major League Baseball player of note? Mike Mills, former bassist for legendary alt Southern band, REM. Charles Barkley. Charles is an auto select, I got to think, for a lot of folks. And among the others that you could choose from, Senator Tommy Tuberville. How about Greg McElroy, former Alabama quarterback, and Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner? So, Jacob, not sure how much of a golfer you are, but even if you were just talking about rounding out a table for dinner, it doesn't have to be golf. And you've got 3, maybe 4 seats available. Of the names I ran down, who you going with at your table and or your foursome?
I think you're right. You're dead on. You got to have Charles Barkley.
Auto select.
Yeah. I'm not a golfer though, so but it is a sport, and I don't remember if you listed off Nick Saban, but he is at the event. He will be.
Saban is.
Yeah, he will be teeing off. So I've got to have the most competitive man in the state as well, so easy choice there as well. When it gets past there, I'm not really sure. I'm leaning Greg Sankey just because you know he did such a good job last year of keeping the SEC running, playing almost every single game last year. Yeah, I'll give it to Sankey, and we could put Tommy Tuberville, down in 4 range.
Oh, really? How about that? Jacob Harrison with Tubbs in there in that 4th spot, perhaps.
Oh, no. We're putting him down, and he's at the end of the range.
Oh, okay. I got you now. I guess because I work in sports, it's kind of like guys who play sports, they want to be in music or in the arts instead. We see that all the time with athletes. They can be like Isaiah Wilson, 1st round pick of the Tennessee Titans a year ago now. He thinks he's a rapper, I guess, instead of or a musician instead of a football player. We'll see how that goes for Ike. But, I would have to have Barkley first and foremost. You just know you're going to have a good time. You know, it's going to be a blast regardless. The golf won't matter. The food won't matter if Charles is there. Now, I would think in either instance, cold beverages might flow pretty heavily with Charles. That's okay too. But he's a default selection in a scenario like the one we're outlining. I love music, as you know. I mean, you listen to this program. We have a playlist theme each and every day. So I'm going Mike Mills, bassist for REM. Longtime REM fan, big REM fan. So give me Millsy. Millsy's also a baseball fan of note, big Atlanta Braves fan. So he can hang in with the sports conversation if it comes down to it. And my third selection might be a surprise as well, because we love food on this program. I mean, it's right in the name. It's Southern Fried Sports. Give me Rodney Scott. Rodney Scott of barbecue fame. I want to pick Rodney Scott's brain when it comes to the BBQ, how to improve my game maybe on that Big Green Egg. So my list, obviously a great deal different, not as sports heavy. I totally get having Nick Saban in your group. I think a guy that I would love to have a beer and or play golf with would be Nate Oates. I think Nate Oates could be just a great time on the golf course. And if I were forced to stick with just sports, I would probably go Nate Oates along with Charles Barkley, and then look at Nick Saban. Probably be Nick Saban in that group with Barkley, because you could have some fun. You could have some fun with any of these guys if you keep Charles Barkley as sort of the glue of the group, the middle guy. He can get it out of any of these dudes. He's going to get a good time out of anybody, Charles Barkley is. So you get Charles in there with Saban and Oates and get those two going. Wow, that could be a good time. We're going to continue to talk about those scenarios as we move throughout the program. Brent Beard's going to do that with us coming up here in just a little bit as well. First a break, though. When we come back, more of Southern Fried Sports on a Tuesday, presented by Peterbrook Chocolatier, right here on Tide 100.9 FM, right after this.
From the Town Square Media News and Weather Center, the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a tornado watch for much of central Alabama, including Tuscaloosa and surrounding counties, until 4 p.m. this afternoon. A watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of strong thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. Stay alert, stay tuned. We'll keep you informed. I'm Captain Ray.
Thunderstorms are likely this afternoon and tonight. Some of the storms could be severe. They will be capable of producing large hail, damaging wind, possibly a few isolated tornadoes. The high today 84, tonight's low at 61. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 79 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9. For more coverage of Alabama football, visit us at Tide100.9.com or download the free Tide 100.9 app.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. I had to run away high, so I wouldn't come home low. Just when things went right, it doesn't mean they were always wrong. Just take this song, and you'll never be left all alone. Take me to your heart, fill me in your bones. Just one more night, and I'm coming on this long and winding road. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, home sweet home.
We're back with more of a Tuesday edition of Southern Fried Sports right here on Tide 100.9 FM. Travis Schreier, senior analyst for BamaOnline.com, with you. The show, as always, brought to you by Peterbrook Chocolatier. It is that time on Tuesdays. We like to check in with our good pal, Brent Beard of College Sports Today, First Coast News, and, of course, Brent Beard, longtime voter for the Heisman Trophy. And, Brent, we're talking a little bit about celebrity charity golf this week on the program, which is important if you're a college football fan, because I know you're ready for those college football preview mags to hit the newsstands around the Southeast. But one of those mile markers that gets us to the start of fall camp in August and then the start of another college football season is the Regions Tradition Senior Golf Tournament. The PGA Tour seniors are champions, they like to be called. They don't like to be called seniors over there in the Birmingham area. So what we're asking you today, first and foremost, as we get you going here, Brent, you can pick 3 of these celebrities to fill out your golf foursome, okay? I'm going to give you some of these names. Nick Saban, Brian Harsin, Bo Jackson, Kirby Smart, Nate Oates, Gary Sheffield, former major leaguer, Charles Barkley, Rodney Scott of barbecue fame. How about Tubbs? How about Tommy Tuberville? Senator Tommy Tuberville. And you can also throw in Greg Sankey, Greg McElroy. I won't even mention Clay Travis to you, although I just did. I don't know how that qualifies as an option in this. But give me 3 of these celebrities that you would choose to fill out your golf foursome.
I like that. I would go with Nate Oates first because I think he has grown into that much of a celebrity right now. I would go with Nick Saban. And I think it would be fascinating to have Charles Barkley in there just to see the offhanded comments that he would come up with from time to time. So, and Trev, if I believe this is right, the media usually try to get the coaches. And at some point, I think this is kind of a could you say it's a post-spring, almost a presser for some of these coaches too, is it not?
Well, and it'll be interesting from the perspective, and I think even as late as yesterday afternoon, there was still some uncertainty about this, would there be in-person interaction between coaches and media? Because if you cover Alabama, like we do at BamaOnline.com, that hasn't happened since basically, well, I guess maybe signing day or so, 2020, February 2020. Wow. So absolutely. I mean, that's what you're talking about, the potential of happening here with coaches and these celebrities. So we'll see how that goes as well. So we got Brent down for Nick, Nate, and Chuck. I like that. I like that threesome to go with Brent Beard. I think it would be a lot of fun just to see Barkley, Oates, and Saban. I just sit back and take in those 3 because Charles is going to handle running the show for you, and he's going to elicit some great reaction.
From the Town Square Media Tuscaloosa newsroom, this is an Operation Stormwatch update. A tornado warning has been issued for Tuscaloosa and Fayette County through noon. We go to ABC 3340 now for the details.
So New Lexington Road, Gorgas Road, if those roads sound familiar to you, if you live in and around those roads, this circulation is going to be passing pretty close to you here in the next few minutes or so.
Hey, Taylor?
Yes.
I'm here. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. I was just going to hop in here real quick. This is a part, and I wanted to stress again that some of the older legacy warning systems are sounding in the city of Tuscaloosa. So again, we've mentioned that, but again, want to make that perfectly clear. This is not remotely close to the city of Tuscaloosa or Northport or the campus of the University of Alabama. So if you are hearing some type of notification that you're under a tornado warning and you're in the city of Tuscaloosa, you are not. The danger is in that specific polygon, the red flashing polygon we've got up there, and this is the far northern part of Tuscaloosa County, and that circulation has cleared Highway 171. So if you are along Highway 171 or points west, no danger here. This thing is coming in a little north of the schools at Samantha. This, again, is kind of straddling the Tuscaloosa-Fayette County line. So, again, if you're in Samantha, this is north of you. This is going to affect the community of New Lexington, which, again, is near the the Tuscaloosa-Fayette County line, and then moving over toward, again, Highway 43 and 69. So the circulation right now is pretty close to Highway 43. I'd say it's probably about 5 to 7 miles north of Northside High School in Samantha. So again, that'll give you a point of reference for those of you in the northern part of Tuscaloosa County. So again, Walker Elementary, Northside High School, this is about 5, 6, 7, 8 miles north of there, near the Fayette County line. And again, that circulation is going to be coming up, cutting across Highway 69 at some point. But we'll just see if the circulation maintains itself. And this is probably one of many of these that we'll be having during the course of the day today. The main concern, it's strong, damaging straight line winds, but we're going to have these isolated tornadoes today. So we're going to have a series of warnings. So please understand that we have some of these tornado warnings, but pay attention to severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So I don't know if we can key me over this by any chance. That would be the social scientists say that we should be making eye contact, Taylor. Not that I'm anything to look at, but that's what the social scientists say, is that you need to be making eye contact and need to see what you're wearing. So the jacket's off, and let's start this thing. So here we go. Again, to get your bearings straight, this is northern Tuscaloosa County. This is southern Fayette County. So, and again, Fayette, you're not in this, the city of Fayette. The town of Berry is right here. You might have a Berry mailing address and you're in the polygon, but the core of this will be, the polygon is south of Alabama Highway 18. Highway 18 runs from Berry back over to Oakman here. So again, the concern is south of Highway 18. That circulation is crossing US 43. And again, this is about 5, 6, 7 miles north of Northside High School in the town of Samantha. And the circulation ultimately is going to be crossing Highway 69, probably near the Tuscaloosa-Walker County line, which is here. 69 runs down to Northport. This is Wyndham Springs. And again, this is Walker County right here. No part of Walker County is involved in this. The Weather Service is going to monitor that and see how it behaves. And if we can look quickly back around Coker and western Tuscaloosa County while we got the velocity display up, Taylor, just wanted to look at that. There's another area of interest the Weather Service is watching, and again, it's this right here. Let's put the reflectivity back on real quick, and again, just wanted to show what the rain pattern looks like. And again, there's broad circulation here in western Tuscaloosa County near Coker. There's no warning in effect at this point, but the Weather Service is looking at that, and we're looking at that. It doesn't look like a tornado for now, but we might get that sky cam just real quickly while we're looking at that. Maybe look to the west, probably from the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse camera, just to see if we can see anything. So if we can take the sky cam full screen, just wanted to take a look back into that. We typically get a really good view of that shot here. So we'll pan a little bit to the left, Taylor, and again, I think the windshield wiper does work on that camera, so we can probably get the raindrops off of there.
There we go.
Need some of that. What's that stuff you put on the windshield wipers that makes it work better?
Rain-X.
Yeah, Rain-X. I knew that. So anyway, again, that's looking back into the circulation near Coker. We don't see anything now. Just wanted to look at that very quickly, and that's not the main reason we're here. So again, let's go back and we'll focus. We'll take full screen the radar. Let's go back to our storm that is in northern Tuscaloosa County, and we're here for a tornado warning in effect for extreme northern Tuscaloosa County. And again, we stress this does not include the city of Tuscaloosa. This does not include the city of Fayette. This is kind of in between those two cities. That circulation is crossing over Highway 43 about 5, 6, 7, 8 miles north of Northside High School, north of Samantha. The county line is located right here. Again, this is US 43. And that circulation is on Highway 43 that's moving towards the east-northeast. The community of Bowley Springs is right here. They took a tough hit back on April 27, 2011. And again, this tornadic circulation will be crossing in that same general area. So again, if you're in southern Fayette County, extreme northern Tuscaloosa County, in the polygon, respect the polygon, go through your safe place. And again, that safe place is not a mobile home. It is not a car. If you're listening to us by radio, we advise that you not be traveling on U.S. Highway 43 north of Lake Tuscaloosa, all the way up to, say, Bankston, until this thing passes. And soon it's going to be east of Highway 43. And really the same thing for Alabama Highway 69. 69 is in a polygon north of Wyndham Springs up toward the Walker County line. So in terms of travel, we advise no travel on US 43 north of Lake Tuscaloosa up to Bankston, and no travel on Highway 69 between Wyndham Springs and the Walker County line. And obviously, we don't want folks in a manufactured home or a mobile home here. And part of your tornado plan is going to a shelter or some business that's open or some site-built structure for you. And you should be implementing that now. And in your safe place, of course, want people to wear helmets. That's always part of the tornado action plan. And again, this will be moving northeast. If you're in Oakman, if you're in Parrish, Cordova, Sipsey, Empire, Jasper, just something to watch. We'll see if this thing holds together. We'll find out here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So again, this is a tornado warning for northern Tuscaloosa, southern Fayette counties until noon. Let's look at our new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Jefferson and Walker until 12:15, Taylor. We're going to take a look at this other polygon. This particular polygon represents a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and this is for western Jefferson and parts of southern Walker counties. So this is the reflectivity, and this is what's prompted this warning. So again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for western Jefferson. This includes places like Corner, this is Bagley, this is Sayre, Cardiff, and Brookside down here. You've got Dora, Cordova, Sipsey, Empire. Jasper is here. And again, this is not a tornado warning polygon. This is a severe thunderstorm warning polygon for the possibility of large hail and damaging straight line winds. And that's moving on to the east. This is western Blount County right here. Looks like there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the southern part of Cullman County, extreme southern Cullman County. That is in effect until noon as well. So the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect at noon for southern Cullman, 12:15 for Jefferson and Walker. And there's a tornado warning in effect, again, for extreme northern Tuscaloosa and southern Fayette counties. In fact, let's look at a big picture here. Taylor, just kind of do a reset. It's 11:28. A lot of folks may be just getting these warnings. You can see we have this big batch of storms now stretching from east to west across North Alabama, from near Weiss Lake and Gadsden, Aniana, southern Cullman County, back over to Jasper, northern Tuscaloosa County, then back into parts of eastern Mississippi. We've got some very active storms in Northport now producing a lot of lightning, but the concern, it's this activity right in through here. And again, that's your tornado warning polygon. We have one tornado warning, and that's the reason we're here, and a severe thunderstorm warning for the cluster here. So let's go back into this particular storm, and this is what's prompted all of this. This is a tornado warning for a fairly small part of northern Tuscaloosa County. Taylor, it looks like it's starting to become a bit less organized. Would you agree?
Yes. So based on what I'm seeing here, it looks a little bit more broad, not quite the organization we had just, I'd say, 10 minutes ago when they issued the warning. So we'll be waiting on word from the National Weather Service whether or not they're going to continue this warning here at this point. But this is looking from the Birmingham radar. And as we look from the Columbus radar, no clear indication of rotation. It's a little bit messy here. One thing that does just concern me a little bit is just the jump in lightning strikes. So sometimes that can kind of indicate that there's some kind of rotation going on at at this point. So north of Gorgas, you can see all these lightning strikes. And with that last scan, looks like we are potentially starting to see a little bit clearer picture of some rotation there.
And again, what I'm doing, I am watching all of the social media channels in our Skywatcher chat, looking to see if anybody up in that region has any images of a lowering or of a tornado. And right now, I'm not seeing any indication of that. It could be just the fact that this is over fairly sparsely populated part of Tuscaloosa County. This is, again, kind of hugging the county line. That line right there, that's the county line. This is Fayette County. This is Tuscaloosa County. The town of Berry is here. And again, Highway 18 is not in this polygon. If you're in the community of Berry, the town itself, the school sits right here. You're not involved in that. You might have a Berry mailing address down to the south, and you might be in it. And again, the community of Bowley Springs in Fayette County is right here. That's the possible tornado. So it's now well east of U.S. Highway 43. So we can clearly give an all clear for US 43 and points west. So again, we are now saying you can travel on US 43. Now understand the weather's pretty rotten. You've got heavy rain, thunder, lightning, but in terms of the tornado threat, the danger from this storm is ended for US Highway 43. So again, US Highway 43 and points west will give you an all clear. These are some of the smaller communities that are within the path of this rotation. And you can see Boley Springs in Fayette County showing up at about 11:39 if it holds together. Oakman and Walker County at 11:52. These are the approximate arrival times of that circulation. But again, it is a little bit less organized than in recent scans. And Chris Darden, the meteorologist in charge of the Birmingham office, says they're looking at it and they might cancel this warning early if the organization issue continues. And I do note the Storm Prediction Center has posted a moderate risk now for parts of Alabama. So, again, here's your tornado watch, and this is the convective outlook. Probably
Hasn't
not
updated
yet. Not up yet. So let's go back to the tornado watch while we've got that. Just if you've not been aware of that, we have a tornado watch in effect now for much of central Alabama. This is in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon. The counties here you see in yellow. And we should mention these green polygons. Those are flood advisories. That is a flash flood warning for southern Marshall and all of DeKalb counties in northeast Alabama. A severe thunderstorm warning parts of western Jefferson and eastern Walker and extreme southern Cullman. And that's the tornado warning. But again, everybody else in the yellow counties here, you are under a tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So just be aware of that. And this will probably be extended. The risk of severe weather will likely continue into the evening hours. But again, you can clearly pick out where the trouble spots are located right now. So let's go back to the radar. And if you're just joining us, we are working a tornado warning that's in effect for extreme northern Tuscaloosa and southern Fayette counties. And you can see clearly that the rotation is becoming less organized here, and that is not really a tornado signature. And again, if the weakening trend continues, the Weather Service in Birmingham will likely let this thing go early. It's scheduled to expire, the tornado warning, at 12 noon. It's currently 11:32. So just be aware that this warning could be canceled early if that weakening trend continues. And while we've got this, let's take a look at our severe thunderstorm clusters in parts of Walker and Jefferson and southern Cullman counties. And again, you can see the yellow polygons here. Extreme southern Cullman, northwestern Jefferson, and eastern Walker for what you see right in through here. And within that, we could see possibly large hail, maybe up to 1 inch in diameter. Really not seeing that. If we have hail, most likely it's going to be smaller hail. The higher concern, it's strong straight line winds. And again, I really think that might be the main concern today. And yes, we could see a few isolated tornadoes, no doubt about that. But again, the chance of damaging straight line wind is a great concern for the storms that form this afternoon and this evening. And again, this new moderate risk is out, which is just a sign the storm predictions, and they've canceled the tornado warning. So the National Weather Service in Birmingham has canceled the tornado warning for Fayette and Tuscaloosa counties. That is now going off the board, so the circulation is weakened. So now you can get out of your tornado safe place and kind of resume normal activities if you're in places like Boley Springs up in the far southern part of Fayette, northern Tuscaloosa counties. So again, the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning in effect for northern Tuscaloosa and southern Fayette counties. They do.
Good news from the Town Square Media Tuscaloosa Operation Storm Watch Center. They've canceled that tornado warning. That was in effect for a portion of our listening area. As a reminder, we do have a tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon. The National Weather Service warns that some of these storms could pack a punch. We could see damaging winds of up to 75 miles an hour, as well as very large hail. The Weather Service says hail could be lime-sized today. So remember to take a severe thunderstorm warning just as seriously as you do a tornado warning today. We'll keep you up to date with the latest. Make sure you follow all of our stations on social media and download our apps as well. This is a Town Square Media Tuscaloosa Operation Stormwatch update made possible by Safety Shelter. For more information on how you can keep your family safe during severe storms, log on to stormshelter.com. We now return to regular programming.
Win in SEC play in 2021 could come down to that matchup between the Gamecocks and the Commodores, unfortunately, for those two teams. Hey, Brent, as always, appreciate you taking the time with us here on Southern Fried Sports. Always great stuff with Brent. Look forward to doing it again next week.
I'll leave on this note. Perhaps the biggest mistake of the draft was one Jamie Newman, who should have stayed at Wake Forest at least and got some tape. Now, look, if you're projected to be a top 10 pick and you opt out, that's one thing. But Trav, a guy like Jamie Newman, whoever he listened to, easily one of the most horrendous mistakes I've seen in years.
You had some LSU opt-outs that I think followed the lead of Jamar Chase, with the problem being they weren't Jamar Chase. So they didn't hear their names called until the back half of the NFL draft. Yeah, but Jamie Newman. And you know what, Brent? Georgia would have counted Jamie Newman as a draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
If he had been drafted, because that would have put the Dogs at 10 with Alabama and Ohio State. So Georgia would have counted Jamie Newman. They would have.
Absolutely they would have, would they not? Yeah.
He will always be a part of the Georgia family, even though he didn't play a snap.
That's right.
Athens, Georgia. Hey, Brent, again, thanks so much. Look forward to doing it again next week.
Me too, bud. Take care.
There he goes, Brent Beard of College Sports Today and First Coast News. Back with more of a Tuesday edition of Southern Fried Sports right here on Tide 100.9 FM right after this.
Play. You're listening to Southern Fried Sports with BamaOnline.com senior analyst Travis Reier on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
One 100 days, 100 nights to know a man's heart. 100 days, 100 nights to know a man's heart. And a little more.
Thanks again to Brent Beard, College Sports Today and First Coast News, joining us on a Tuesday edition of Southern Fried Sports right here on Tide 100.9 FM. We're going to keep the college football discussion going. Must have been a hell of a spring out in Norman, Oklahoma, because Mark Schlabach of ESPN, senior writer for ESPN, in his latest college football post-spring top 25 power rankings, Schley has moved the OU Sooners up from his previous way too early ranking of 3 to number 1. The Oklahoma Sooners, 9-2 a season ago, thumped the Florida Gators, a depleted Florida Gator football team in that Cotton Bowl, as you might recall. But Spencer Rattler, boy, there's a lot of Spencer Rattler hype out there, isn't there? More hype going into the season. Spencer Rattler or JT Daniels? Going to be tight. Going to be close between those two. Of course, Oklahoma these days looking like Knoxville West with the transfer of a trio of important volunteers, running back Eric Gray, offensive tackle Wanye Morris, and defensive back Key Lawrence, all previously of the University of Tennessee, and now in place to perhaps start as first-year Sooners under Lincoln Riley. Oklahoma Sooners made the jump from 3 to 1 after the spring, according to Mark Schlabach. The Alabama Crimson Tide in Schlabach's post-spring power rankings sits at number 2. They went into the spring in Schlabach's rankings as the number 2 ranked team. Of course, some questions offensively for Alabama. We've outlined those for you in depth here on the program, starting at the quarterback position with Bryce Young. But Schlabach notes in his latest rankings that Young looked comfortable in the A-Day game, completing 25 of 44 passes for 333 yards with a touchdown and no interceptions. Now, Young did have the fumble after getting pressured from his right that resulted in a defensive score in that spring game. So ball security with any first-time starter at quarterback is going to be of concern. And Bryce Young's going to take some chances, too. Bryce Young is a confident quarterback. And when you have that kind of confidence, kind of like a Tua Tagovailoa, even a Mac Jones at times, you're going to try to do things with the football that, in a lot of instances, would be best described as ill-advised. So that'll be something to watch with Bryce Young. I'm more concerned for Bryce Young with the people around him. I think Bryce Young is ready, even as a second-year guy, to pick up, to take the reins from this run of quarterback play that Alabama has been on and keep it moving. Absolutely keep it moving. But there's no question. Just look at the recent addition of Jamison Williams. Alabama's still searching at wide receiver, and you expected that. On the heels of Ridley, on the heels of Judy, Ruggs, Smith, Waddle, absolutely you anticipated this. So Young isn't walking into the situation that some of his predecessors have. With that being said, he's going to be asked as a first-year starter, perhaps in some cases, to elevate the play of those around him more so than even Tua Tagovailoa was asked in 2018. Or Mac Jones for a portion of 2019 and all of 2020. Bryce Young's going to have to be the guy that picks up the play for everybody else. And that's where I have my bigger concerns for the Alabama offense in the passing game specifically. The supporting cast to Bryce Young. I do think from a run game perspective, that will be a benefit to Bryce Young. Alabama should be a team that very effectively runs the ball. But when it does go to the air, who are the truly explosive guys in this offense from a receiver standpoint right now? John Mechie? And who's next? Ajay Hall made some big plays in the spring game. A couple of those came against a walk-on defensive back. That's not saying Ajay Hall isn't going to be great. I think we all agree that he has that type of potential to sustain this run, especially where South Floridians are concerned at the wide receiver position at Alabama. But Ajay Hall isn't a 4-3, 4-4 guy. We're still waiting to see if after the catch, Ajay Hall is what some of these guys have been. He's 6'3". So more of his game is going to be using his body, his athleticism, his stature, his physicality to win. Now, one of the more impressive plays from the A-Day game for me wasn't on the outside with Ajay Hall high pointing these sort of jump balls that he was given. It was a short crossing route in which he did show after the catch he could make more out of something than 4 or 5 yards. He caught a short crossing route, and he fed a veteran like Daniel Wright a stiff arm that isn't typical of an early enrollee when matched up with a veteran like Wright. He made easy work of Daniel Wright in that situation and went on to pick up another 10, 12, 13 yards. That was as encouraging for me with Ajay Hall than the 50-50 balls that you saw him catch. He showed me he's something more than Laquan Treadwell working the sidelines for jump balls and back shoulder fades. He can do more than just that. At least it appeared that way in the A-Day game. So Alabama sitting there at number 2 in Mark Schlabach's way too early or post-spring power rankings for ESPN. The Georgia Bulldogs, Schlay's alumni, alma mater. Georgia Bulldogs at number 3. They move up from 4th in Schlabach's previous way too early ranking. And rounding out the top 4, the Clemson Tigers. Tigers fall from 1st in Schlabach's previous way too early ranking down to 4. You've got some quarterback concerns depth-wise there for the Clemson Tigers. And there's still some questions about the availability with Justin Ross, the Phoenix City product, who was so good a couple of years ago before a spinal condition cost him all of last season. Clemson's still waiting to hear if Justin Ross is going to be good to go for 2021 and beyond. Going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on a Tuesday edition of Southern Fried Sports presented by Peterbrook Chocolatier right here on Tide 100.9 FM right after this.
From the Town Square Media News and Weather Center, the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a tornado warning for northwest Tuscaloosa and southeast Fayette counties until noon today. Radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado about 13 miles south of Fayette, moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. In other news, Tuscaloosa County and Shelton State Community College will be closing today at 12:30 because of hazardous weather conditions. We still have that tornado watch in effect for all of central Alabama until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Stay alert, stay tuned. We'll keep you informed. I'm Captain Ray.
Details. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Occasional showers and thunderstorms are likely this afternoon and tonight. Some of the storms could be severe. They will be capable of producing large hail, damaging wind, possibly a few isolated tornadoes. The high today 84, tonight's low at 61. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 77 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Some birthdays on this Tuesday. You heard the late, great Sharon Jones coming back from our last break. And now, some Motley Crue with lead guitarist Mick Mars, who turned 70 today. Man, all these guitarists. Keith Richards, Eric Clapton. I don't know if Mick Mars belongs in that group. But happy 70th nonetheless to the heavy metal rocker. Little Motley Crue for you on a Tuesday. Here in the last 15 or 20 minutes, the University of Alabama has unveiled what it is calling the Advantage program. The Advantage program is designed, according to the press release, to educate and provide Crimson Tide student athletes with the tools necessary to build and elevate their personal, get ready for the B word, folks, brands. In other words, name, image, and likeness is coming. According to UA, Alabama Athletics, one of the most recognizable and influential brands in all of sports, has created the Advantage, a comprehensive program that will provide, again, Crimson Tide student athletes with the education and tools necessary to build and elevate their personal brands. In working with both campus partners and external entities, the Advantage will focus on brand management, maximizing personal social media platforms, and financial literacy. Sounds good. You know, first and foremost, it's a recruiting tool that Alabama Athletics will be able to use in its various sports, with an emphasis on football and men's hoops. Also wise to try to form maybe some partnerships with more of your brandable student athletes, which would in turn help you keep sponsorship dollars more in-house. And so with that, initially at least, I'm left to wonder, student athletes, people like, let's say, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, are they going to be better served working with the University of Alabama as a partner or trying to go out on their own? Man, we're headed for a entirely different era of collegiate athletics, aren't we? Yeah, I'd say so. That's going to do it for a Tuesday edition of Southern Fried Sports. Thanks to Brent Beard. Thanks to Jacob Harrison, as always. The lunch whistle on this Tuesday. Heat Pizza Bar, downtown Tuscaloosa at Government Plaza. It is a Tuesday. Be safe out there with all this rough weather in the Tuscaloosa area. But if you do get out on this Tuesday, Heat Pizza Bar, Thai Chicken Tuesday, a great sort of transition into Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. Thai Chicken Tuesday tonight at Heat Pizza Bar, downtown Tuscaloosa at Government Plaza until 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Be safe out there and have a great rest of your Tuesday.